All right. Okay, let me see what we've got here. Hi, Rebecca. Glad to have you aboard. If you would, please mute your micro. Thank you. And if you have a question, unmute it and feel free to interrupt me. I do think you can wave or raise your hand and to get my attention. But thank you very much. Okay, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and get us started. And just a quick review to kind of what's going on. I've gotten a couple of emails. And let's go in there and let's make sure I want to mute my. I mute myself. Okay. Now, Rebecca, you may. Okay, I see Maddie. Maddie, you may want to. Kill your video. As we can see you. There you go. Not just your, you want to kill your screen too. That's a privacy issue between you and everybody else. Okay, let me see what we've got here. We've got Rebecca, Jamie, and Maddie. Glad to have you here. Now let me quickly just run us through what's happening. We're having some trouble with projecting to the screen here in the lab. So everybody should be in Canvas in the Canvas room for 1123, and at the same time, those of you who are here can hear me. Those of you who are out there in screencast land should be able to hear me as well. Now, again, about the format of the course and some other things that I want to cover. First of all, I want to make sure that you understand I'm doing a hybrid with this course like I am with everybody else. I do 75 minutes of seat time, okay, and 75 minutes of virtual time. So tonight we'll go till about 7:30, and then we'll stop, and then I will do another screencast over the week, now and next week. If you've got your mic on, please go ahead and close it.
They can, yeah, they can hear us.
And let's see here. Let's see if I can get closed here. There you go. And who else has got their mic? Well, that's me. Okay. So, again, if you're on, mute your mic. Someone isn't. All right. Now, I got some questions about the workshop format, and I want to talk about that for just a minute. Tomorrow, we have two assignments that are due, XLS1 and XLS2. Now, last week, we did XLS3, which was the Guardian payroll, okay? And I'd say, okay, once I showed it to you and we reviewed it, I said, okay, take a look at it and then upload it over for XLS3 when that comes due. So the quickest way to find it, and that's for XLS3, it was that payroll register. I want to show you guys a great example of a spreadsheet and what it can do. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's Guardian Roofing. Now, I should have had it out there just easily for you to get. Oh, let's see here. Here, excuse me. It's XLS3 Guardian, and I've got a zip file there. And the zip file has the Excel file with that really nice, really nice workbook and how the worksheet, how it's put together, as well as in English what we did to create the counter, cell referencing, using functions, etc. And really that Guardian shows us a really nice example of how we can take Excel and use its computational qualities, as well as using it like a database tool, okay? So you should have, this file Guardian, XLS3 Guardian, you should upload it where it says upload XLS3 here, okay? Now, let me go back. That's what I said. I'm having problems in all. We're having problems in all labs getting the projector going. So, are you in the room? Okay. I apologize. We're not able to get them to work. So, I don't run the train, although I'd like to run it off the tracks. Maybe we'll get them fixed. I don't know, but I apologize. Yeah, because you're in here and you can hear me. And so just, if you're on the screencast, that's fine. You can hear me anyway. And if you're in the room, it's going to be the same. On the screencast, if you want to see the screencast, it's going to be over. If you look at the announcements, you'll see an invitation. I'm probably jumping ahead. Let me slow that back down for just a second and give everybody a chance. When I have a preset time, okay, I will set up a date for you to have I'll give you an invitation. And if you go over to announcements and you scroll down, you'll see the invitation to BISS 1123 live screencast 8:30. Got it? Now, when you click on that invitation, all right, you're going to see instructions for joining from a PC, etc. All right, and so you and then how you just the link to follow and to get in there. And and they give you this to join it from a PC, a Mac, or a Linux, and I'm in that little introduction, that announcement there. To join it from one of those, you use that https://okbu.zoom.us/ and there's a J and then it's 595. Everybody see that? Okay, you may have to do that for you to be able to see the screencast. And I could try to put it up there, but I don't think I'm going to be successful. Were you able to get the downlink? Anybody else not on there yet? Okay. Yeah. Okay. And you can put your name in it, whatever you want to do. Yeah. I'm just going to set it up and then, and then you'll join. Okay. Now you put your name in or whatever you want to do there, it doesn't matter. Okay. Everybody there? Okay. And if you want, you can put join with audio, but you don't have any audio on the machine. But you're here. Everybody now in? I apologize. It's the same process you have to go if you were remote and dialing in. You can also get on a cell phone if you need to. They've got instructions there to do that. And these screen, I apologize. I just simply, we've helped ask tomorrow to help me get us set up, and we're having problems getting these to sync up with our machines. So, everybody with me now? Your application crashed? And you're in? Oh, very good. Everybody else in? Are you in now? Now, what you should see, what you should see there is I'm at the invitation. You there? And just to check that we're all in sync, I'm going to put my cursor over on the assignments. Do you see that? Okay, now we're good to go. When you're working remote, or if we have to do something in an emergency situation like this, you can join. You'd have to download it to your machine or your phone, and then you can follow along. Obviously, you can hear me. You're with me, so you're covered there. Then if you're out remote, it's the same process. So you've really you know now if you need to do it remote how to do it. Okay, and they got it for an iPhone, telephone, and then you can see the meeting ID. And if you're on a PC, a Mac, a Linux, or an Android, you can see, and you'll see me. Everybody see me highlight that? Okay, so we're all together now, right? Now, let me make a couple of observations. Let me give you a couple of hints for this. Now, one thing is, I save this, once I've produced this screencast, I'll take the screencast I have here and I'll convert it from an MP4 to a YouTube video. And then I'll take that YouTube video and I'll post it over here in the announcements. So you can watch it again if you want to. These are important because what I'm doing in here is I'm going through workshops, basically workshop kinds of. So when you hit an exam, for example, exam, and you have a hands-on part, you can do it, and just skill building stuff. And if you want to try it before you come into class, I'm fine with that. If you want to wait and upload it, fine. As long as you get it uploaded on the day and time it's due, we're good. Okay. Now, and you'll see over here in the announcements, and I'll just take you over here, and you guys should see I'm gonna load these all up. And you'll see here where I have, this is from the 23rd. This is part 1 and part 2. And you see those? Okay. Now, here are some hints on getting the most of these. First of all, what I would do is I would rewatch this. If you come and sit through the screencast here or wherever you're at, I'd watch it again, but I'd chunk it, taking about 15-minute slugs. And if you have a question, then what you should do is write down the time and the minute and the seconds, or the hour and the minutes, whatever, and shoot me an email and go, hey, I don't get it. I don't understand this. And then I can answer your question. If you send me, say, I don't understand what we're doing, well, I'm going to have to say, well, what part of this did you not understand? You with me? And typically what I'll do is I'll go and I'll take a look and try to figure out maybe what it is that you're not understanding. And I might even just do a short little video clip and send it back to you to try to respond to your question, okay? But it's important to do it. Now, there's one other thing with those with those YouTube videos, you should be able to get a transcript. And in fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think I had given you guys instructions to get a transcript from the YouTube video. So, and the transcript that you get is, they'll say, okay, this many minutes, seconds, blah, 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 what I said, and then another, and another. Okay? And you can read faster than you can listen. You can read faster than you can listen to me. So I would take that transcript, and I've done it myself, and just I open up the transcript function, download it, and take a look at it. So you've got that as another tool to help you with your learning. Okay? As far as these workshops, the third way, you know what you're going to be, you know what files you'll be using, where to get them, and I don't have a problem if we work on a workshop like we do one and two tonight, and you take that workshop, download it to your desktop, and then email it to yourself to mess with it and practice with it, because these are pulled right out of the textbook, okay? I'm going to be a couple of them. One of them is going to be some older ones where it deals with a certain type of business problem, and then the one that's from your textbook, and I have a file that identifies all that for you. You with me? So you've got some ways to do some skill building with this. And what this does is this lets everybody learn on their own pace. And having taught this course for a long time, in courses like this, there's nothing more frustrating for all of us when we have that one person who doesn't get it. And so I have to spend 10 minutes going over and over. I want to help, okay? And if I had 5 labbies, it'd be fine, but people would get frustrated. So if you're not understanding, mark down the day and the time and where we're at, or go back and look at the cast, or just write down the question. You go, okay, I got a question. Now, if you're here with me, or those of you who are out in cast land, you can stop me and ask a question. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, I want to see. I've got Cassie, I've got Kay, Jamie, Maddie, Rebecca, and Heath. Okay, including myself. All right, now let's close that back off. Now, everybody follow me in terms of how we're kind of handling this? All right, let's talk some again about navigation. I had someone send me an email today who was a little confused, so I want to make sure we're in good shape. If you click on the modules, okay, and this very first one, the welcome module, you're going to find all types of resources. One important one is a link over to a supplemental website where I have some materials stored over there. That's an old Google page I've had, but I keep some stuff over there as well. And there will be a couple of times where you'll be using some stuff from the supplemental website, so you'll want to be aware of that. Now, there are some other things in here, of course, presentations, late work, OU online business. This is the library. Let's see. There's some of these items that are going to show up that you'll have a quiz and you'll want to be using them. And I'll tell you those items. Let's see here. And we come down here and we'll get down to the syllabus, okay, for fall. Now, I'm going to open it up for just a second. And the syllabus has some general things in it about the course, the description, stuff like that. It also has the textbooks that we're going to be using, the Stephen Few textbook. And so I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to grab this URL. Then you can do the same thing if you want, and then go over and see what, and then go over to Amazon. And it's the great big text. It's on show me the numbers. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to put in a new tab. I'm going to go over to Amazon and so you can see it. If you haven't gotten it, you'll need to be getting it up. Okay. Now, in addition to that, I have a couple of other texts, and this is these are, this is competing on analytics. This is number 4. And I'm going to go back to Amazon, and I'll put that in. Now, contractually, you're obligated, I'm obligated to tell you that you're supposed to buy from the bookstore. I'll say no more, okay? I have to say what I have to say, but I want to make sure that you understand what we're after. So you can go, if you haven't bought your books, you'll need to do that pronto. Now let me log into another place where I have my textbooks, and I don't know if any of you have ever used Vital Source, but it's a fantastic service. What you can do is you can, now, if you go to Amazon, let me stop for a moment, because some of this is logistics stuff that I want to make sure you know. If you buy textbooks today, I really encourage you, especially if it's the main text, like a big text like this text on Excel, and it's a textbook in your course, get the e-version. You say, why would you do that? And if you can download it, download. Why? Because when you get ready to take an exam, guess what? You can use the search function to find the terms you're after instead of leafing through the pages. Now, when you take these exams with me, please make sure you understand. I pull all the items for, I use a database, a test bank from a publisher. I take all the items for that chapter and all the objective items, and I pull them and I put them in at random. Okay, they're there. You can find them, but I like the search function. I can tell you that for sure. And Vital Source is really nice. Now, of course, you can, if you have Kindle or you want to buy Kindle from Amazon, that's good. But anything digital, you can get it. That's what you wanted. That's how I would go. Because number one, you don't have to haul the things around. Number two, you can pull the book up and you can follow along. And you see, I have almost all of my textbooks in here for the course. I've been using Vital Source for quite a while. Now, what's another little logistical ditty? We want to go through here is the syllabus. And then we've got some schedule. I just put screenshots of the schedule because I know I may have to change it, but I just leave it in there. And then at the very back, I have the point structure for you. And also, I think I uploaded this in the resources area. And then with the grading scale. And the thing we have to stick in the syllabus, they make us do this. And then my schedule, okay, and roughly my office hours. Now, you've probably seen enough emails, announcements, etc. from me that you know that things for me can change. And so if they do, I'll let you know. Otherwise, I'll post the stuff on here in the announcements. And then, of course, you know, that wonderful shot with that remarkable week I spent with Freddy Krueger, who's a fine human being. Well, I'm not sure if he's a human or not, but he's okay by me. Now, so you're going to find in here a lot of information. Here's a key thing, and this is this is the welcome part. And I'm going to scroll down here, the very bottom, and you're going to find two very important XLS files. Resources for the MS Excel cases, resources for the Access cases. We're going to do some work in Excel, and then we'll do some work in Access. Now, so okay, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to take those two tools and we're going to tackle some very common business problems. That's why we call it business problem analysis. And we'll use the spreadsheet, or we're going to use a database to create some data and visualize or identify a problem. Now, I would, if I were you, download this so you can pull it up, and I'm going to do that. The viewer on this application is nice, but you're just that much better. Also note, and let me give you a real, when we work on a case, open up the file that we're going to use, okay? Download it to your desktop. Save it there so you can submit it back up to the system. Because if you don't do that, if you don't put it on that desktop into a native environment for that machine, Canvas thinks it's a bogus file, and you'll load up something and I won't be able to open it up and you'll have an issue, okay? So just make it a when you have something like this, for example, and then I would just simply, or a file that we've worked on, a workshop file, save it to your desktop. You may even want to rename it, because if you put it in the right bin, that's all that matters. So that the system won't be treated as just like some kind of system file or a bogus file. I'm going to go through this with you because and let me see if I make this a little bit nicer for you. And these are all of the Excel problems. There you go. Now I'll just walk you through. Here's the case. Okay. Then the business problem that we're working with. Here's an example file. Okay. And I'll tell you, it's in Canvas or the supplemental website, and I showed you the link to that. Okay. Then you have a file from the Winston text. Okay. And that's that text that deals with Excel. Then any related material, and that's chapter 1, figure 1.5 in the Winston text. And then the location of the text file. Okay. And I have a file in there in the Excel companion content, that zip file. Okay, it's typically it's in the templates or the subfolder, the practice subfolder there at Winston. Okay, now you'll see that this is a file called bakery. Okay, now if I walk you through whistle cleaners, all right, and that's just an example for you to see, and you get that uploaded, I'm good. If you want to take the bakery, I'm good, because they deal with the same kind of issue, and that is client tracking and prospect sources. Okay? Now, let's go over and find that bakery to temp and just diminish your screen. All right? And let's go back over, and we're going to click in the files section. And let's scroll down there, and we're either going to find the bakery. I think we'll be looking for the bakery, or those files. I'm going to grab this here for a second. And the name customers, and that's going to be over, and the content. All right, Excel companion. And I should have an Excel companion. Here it is, Excel companion content 1. Everybody see that? I went into the files, and you scroll down, and you'll see a file called Excel companion content 1. That's from their website, from the book website. If you choose to go over to the book website, to the companion site, and download their stuff, you can. I've done that for you. Okay? So let's take that zip file and let's download it. And we'll open it up. What I like to do, and you saw what I just did there, I saved it in a folder, okay? And I'm going to diminish this down. I'm going to take that Excel companion content 1, that zip file, and I'm going to throw it on my desktop. The reason being that once it's here, it's down in my machine. So if I went to upload something from here into Canvas, where you upload your assignments, because I've got those identified, it says upload XLS1 here. If you don't do that, Canvas will think you're trying to upload something that's quirky or funny or a threat. So you need to get it in, save it in your environment. All right, so let's open that up. Everybody with me? You got the Excel file, the zip file? Okay, and we'll open it again. And let's click on chapter 1. And it's either going to be in the practice files or the template files. And here's bakery 1. Okay? You see it? All right. Now, I'm going to take this and I'm going to throw it out on the desktop. Okay? Now, if you want to see the supporting narrative for this, the advantage of, if you have your textbook, whether it's digital or you have a physical copy, you can go back and take a look at the narrative around it, okay? In other words, the authors talk about what we're trying to do and all that. I've read it, so I'm fairly well on top of what we're trying to do. And again, this is a client tracking and prospect system. A big problem that everybody has is you have to identify and track your clients. So this is a file that we can do and use it. And let's open it up. Okay? And I'll enable the editing. And what I'm going to do, just to make sure that I can upload it back up into the upload bin, I'm going to put on this PC, okay, on the desktop. And what I would do is I would put bakery 1 final, and I'm going to put Harmon. Now, you really don't have to do that because when you upload it in your bin, you're going to be over there already. But this just renames it and just further solidifies that it's yours, it's on the desktop, etc. Okay? Now let's talk about what we've got here, all right? And see, I think I may have downloaded the wrong one or opened up the wrong one. Let's look at number 2. And these I forgot to mention to you, if you open up a chapter, they are practice files, solution files, templates. Now we got a template there. Let's look at bakery 2 template. That may be the one I want to use. There we go. Okay. And let's see, I want to go back over to 2 and take a look at those as well. Okay. I want to see what I named that exactly. It's bakery 2 temp, tab customers. All right. Okay, so I did have it. Yeah, it's bakery 2 customers. My apologies. And I want the customers tab. I apologize, folks. Here we go. Now let's click on customers, okay? And we've got some data here that gives us the start, okay? And the new customers we pick up per year, and then the churn rate. That is, what percentage of them are going to leave. And so what we do here is we're going to just simply build this little projection of how things work. So I'm going to start, first of all, I'm going to start with year 1. Now, one of the most important things we can do is grab real tightly to cell referencing and get a handle on that. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put the start customers equals, and I'm going to do C2. And then I'm going to get the new per year. Now, I'm going to do this, equal C3. Now, I'm going to put a $ in front of C and in front of 3 to make that an absolute reference, okay? Because that's a constant. So when I do cell referencing, when I put a $ in front of the letter it pins it to that column. If I put a dollar sign in front of the number, I pin it to a row. If I put dollar signs on each, I've created what we call an absolute cell reference, and we're done. Now, we could, and later on we'll take a look at using the name manager that will be a little bit better for us to work with. So I've got that. Now, since I have it all, it's an absolute reference, then it just simply becomes an issue of I drag and drop it. The whole idea of cell referencing and doing it properly is so you can do it quickly. Drag and drop, okay? So we've got 100 customers, okay? And then we've got the new customers. Our churn rate is 15%. And that we're going to assume is a constant. When we design a spreadsheet, okay, this section right in here is what we call our assumptions section. This is stuff that we start. These are things we assume. Okay, so I've got coincidence going to equal, and I'm going to go ahead and make that a absolute cell reference. Okay, I'll put dollar signs in front, and then the quits. Okay, now I'm going to need to do one other thing because it's showing me a percentage and a churn rate. So I'm going to assume that the churn is the ending number of customers. I'm going to assume it's the number of new customers or the starting customers. So I'm going to take it times, okay, and let's just say we're going to lose 15% of those new customers. Fair enough? Or the churn that we have. And we're going to take that. And what we could do, we may start with the end customers and then start taking the 15% off of the ending customers. That makes no sense. Let's do it. We need to do it with the, we'll do it with the end customers. Watch what we're going to do. All right. I've got this C4, okay, and I'm going to take this times, and just to be accurate, I'm going to put times parenthesis, okay, C2 plus C3. Now I'm going to put a dollar sign in front of the C's, okay, because I'm going to be working the column. And let's see what we get. And it says okay. I've got a parenthesis there. Here we go. And what I did to get this, now watch, in Excel, you got a couple of things to look at. You've got the display area, which is down here, and then you have the formula. When you click up in the formula bar, you'll see the cells that you're using will go hot. We get red and blue. If you have more, you get a green, yellow, whatever. It's to give you a sense of what you're working with. And what we're saying is our churn or our quits is going to be 15% of our starting customers, okay, plus our new customers. Make sense? Yes? Okay. Anybody have a question? So far, so good. It's just a simple matter of walking through some of the cell referencing. This is a pretty easy one, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Now, the ending customers, okay, is going to equal, and I bet you'd say, okay, it's going to equal C8, okay, and on that, I'm going to put a dollar sign in front of the C. You say, why are you going to do that? Because I'm coming down column C. Plus D8, and notice the algorithm that starts to happen. I'll just do it the old-fashioned way. I'll do plus $ B8. So the ending customers will equal these two. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a parenthesis around them. And in English, my ending customers will equal the start customers, okay, plus the D, and that should be a D. Yikes. So it's going to equal the starting customers I have, the new customers I pick up, and as you would guess, less those who quit. Okay? And I'm going to put a dollar sign in front of E so that it's clear I'm coming down the columns. With me so far? And we'll look at that. And then we'll talk about the English of it, or just the common sense. We started the year with 100 customers. We gained 20. We have to calculate the percentage who will quit. That's the churn rate. Okay? And the churn rate's 15%. And 15% of 120 is 18. Because we take that C4, okay, times C, we take that times C2 plus C3. So we're using those constants, and then we get the ending number of customers. And I'm just going to click here and see if it makes sense. We're going to take the churn rate, which is C4, times C2, all right, which is the start, plus C3, which is the new we get per year. And we get the ending customers. Now, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to go ahead, and since I'm working with these cells C2 and C3, I'm going to make those absolute. So I'm going to put a dollar sign in front of those row numbers. And that pins them there. I may regret that, but we'll see. Now, I've done year one, and now it just simply becomes an iteration where I say, okay, the start for year two would be what? Anybody want to hesitate to guess? Well, exactly. The ending year becomes then the starting number. So I'm going to put equal F8. And I'm just going to go ahead and put a dollar sign in front of it. And that'll equal F8. Okay. And now I'm going to take this, click on cell E18, E8, excuse me, and drag it around and see what you get. Okay. So I didn't want to do that. Okay, let's go back up here and go back up to our cell formula and C4, the constant times C2. I will take that, we'll leave the column on there. Okay. Put the row. Okay. And now let's come down here because we'll be now we'll be looking at D2 and D3. That ought, oh, no. I want, okay. Hang on a second. Okay. That is the ending coming in. All right, we're going to have to do a little bit of something here. And this is going to be equal C4 times C9 plus C10. and we'll go ahead and put them in a parenthesis, and we should now be able to drag and drop this. This is just a little bit of whack-a-mole with the cell referencing, okay? And so this equals, yeah, okay? Because we had 102 new customers. We started with 102 customers. We gained 20, so now we're looking at 15% times that, okay? And this will equal, and we'll put a parenthesis, and they're going to put a dollar sign, okay? And they'll put another dollar sign, and that will be D9, okay? And there'll be minus E9. All right. Now, I'm going to do this. I'll just go ahead and boom. I'll put that in here. It's going to equal, pardon me. And I'm going to drag this down. And this would be, and now what I'm trying to do is work us out a pattern where we can build an algorithm, but we'll just walk through this, and we're going to end up having to do it the old way. That's going to equal 1/11 F9. All right. And the quits, I should be able just to, I have to keep, hang on. Now, the C4 times, I'm going to make that an absolute. I'm going to make the C4 an absolute cell and see what we end up with. And maybe then it'll let us do the drag and drop. I'm doing a little bit of experimenting here. Okay. And let's see what we get. Okay. Okay. Now, we use the cell referencing here, and just now we should be able just to drag and drop it on down and get our figures. And it just, now the problem is though, we always have to start with this new row. So this is going to equal F10. We've got a constant there, so we just simply drag this down. Okay? And the way I check this is I say, okay, I've got my absolute cell reference. C4 is an absolute cell reference, okay? You think? That's an assumption. Now, I have a dollar sign in front of C11. I have a dollar sign in front of D in the D11 because I'm working down the column. Okay? And then when I come over here, I just come over to F and I drag it on down. And that's going to equal C11 plus D11 minus E11. The dollar sign said keep it in the columns, and the C4 has dollar signs in front of the row and the column and the row. So it just stays the same. And this just becomes an issue of just doing the iteration. Now we can follow it on down. And that's all we really have to do is that. And if we're concerned, we can always check it to see if we're in the right row. And we are. And so we can just simply do it like that. Okay. I'm going to stop here at year 6 because we kind of have everybody kind of follow what we're doing. All right. Now, we're going to do a little bit of stylistic work here with these year 6. The first thing I'm going to do is make sure I have whole numbers. So I'm going to start at C8. I'm going to scroll all the way down to C13. Okay? And I'm going to come over here to the numbers, and you see me where it says decrease the decimal. I'm going to decrease the decimal. All right? Now, I'm going to do that a much easier way for column E. I'm going to click on column C. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to click copy. And then right below it is the format painter. And you see the little format paint thing? All right. Now, I'll do the same thing here. I'll go copy, format painter, and that shows us our ending customers. With me so far? Now, if I want to make this better, in other words, more visually appealing, or I'm going to follow some design processes. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to cell B2, and I'm going to do the array of B2 to C4, and I'm going to use a fill. And I'm going to do a nice fill. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make these bold. Okay. And over here, I'm going to put assumptions. Now, you can either type it in, or if you want to make it even spiffier, you can go ahead and insert a text box and put assumptions. You said, why would you do that? Because you might be presenting it someday and forget about what you did. And it's a terrible feeling to be in front of a group of people and go, I don't remember, how did I get that? Okay? So I didn't go and practice this today. You saw how I fumbled around. I've been working these things since they were invented. But I had to kind of work my way through it. But if you're doing a formal presentation, you do not want to do that. So you'd want to have, okay, you'd want to have, for example, a text box or something that tells you, or a comment box that tells you and the end user how you got what you did. Because they may not be able to click in the cell and figure it out. You're going to be dealing with some people who are math challenged. I'm going to say that now. May God have mercy on your soul. All right? And when you do, some of you will have to supervise groups of people that on Monday morning they've had way too much beer. Maybe they've had 1 or 2 domestic abuse charges filed, or they've been on Facebook for shooting at a police officer. Who knows? And you'll get to deal with those folks. I've had them and dealt with them. So you want to make everything as easy as possible. Or if you're in a presentation, you want to have that type of data for the person who goes, I have 5 minutes. Tell me. Okay. And what I've done in the past with my data is I'll write up maybe a couple of pages of Word, cut and paste them and throw it in there and say, okay, there's your summary. There's the data. You're good to go. Okay? Now we're going to do a little bit of something else here on the assumptions. I'm going to go ahead and make that bold. And we've got a customer tracking here. And I'm going to come up here at this ribbon. I'm going to create a ribbon. I'm going to use a nice color. Now, don't use colors that look like you upchucked your Skittles, because it won't play well. Okay, so get something purple. That's not too bad. Make these bold, because what we're going to do is we're going to direct the reader to make them. They'll see the assumptions, and then we're going to lead them down to the next step as we tell our story. Got me? And so I'm going to come here, and then I'm going to go ahead and we didn't do all 10 years. That's okay. And I'm going to put all borders. All right. And then below here, I'm going to put that nice fill that I had. And just so you can see it, I'm going to come a little bit back. And you can see there how nice that looks. And what it does is it frames things. One of the reasons I have you read that big, I hope all of you have, or most of you have bought the Big Stephen Few book, Show Me the Numbers. Okay. First of all, it's a great text on how to take data and convey them visually. Okay. The best people in the entire world at doing that are the weathercasters. They're fantastic. And it's amazing. They'll just take, and anybody can look at, can listen. You don't even have to listen. You can say, okay, well, here's the dark red spot. Oh, that's trouble. Here's the grain. And they've got these beautiful graphics. And they do it because most people today are very numerically challenged. And they can understand a picture. And so if you train them to say, if it's really dark, that's not good, then you're good to go. You'll see these analytics too. If you're sports fans, for example, if you follow football, you now have the ubiquitous what? Yellow line. That was invented for a simple reason, because a lot of people would go, I don't know where the first down marker is. It's 10 yards. And a football field is pretty intuitive. It's, I think, 5 yards, 10. And people literally would not be able to compute 10 yards. So the networks, to make it easy, said, we'll draw you 2 yellow lines. Good to go. Now, that's just the state of how things are. I didn't make the rules. That's what's happening. Now, notice we've got the end customers, and now we want to do a little bit more of this because we've displayed the data, but now we want to know, okay, what might this look like if things change? So we're going to play around with this for a minute. We have some assumptions up here. And I'm assuming that I'm starting with 100 people and I have a churn rate of 15%. And I go, okay, what would this look like if I could get the churn rate down to 10%? And I'm going to put in 10%. And look at that. The reason we use the assumptions data is so that we can see what this will look like if we have certain conditions. Business problem analysis is really 3 things. 1, finding the best way to collect the data you have. 2, presenting them effectively. And number 3, understanding that decision making, okay, is a continuum. It's not black or white. Now, we have an assumed churn rate of 15%, but that 15% may be an average. And if we've got 20 years of data or 50 years or 30 years of data where we know the average is 15%, but we know that the standard deviation is 6%, then I know that 1 sigma up is 21%, 1 sigma down is 9%. And I know that if the data are distributed normally, I'm talking 68% of all the churn rates are going to be somewhere between 9% and 21%. The reason we want you to take statistics, and is my fervent prayer that math people do this, is they get you to understand stats not about computing numbers, it's a thought process. It says, how likely is it I would get this outcome? If I wanted to, I could use a simulator here for the churn rate and simulate that churn rate and say, okay, here's what it looks like, etc. In fact, let's just do this. And I'm going to put trial, okay, real quickly. I'm going to put trial, and I'm going to put 1. And then I'm going to come over and I'm going to click on the fill part. And I'm going to do, it's down. The fill is down. And up. I want to start that. I want to do that. Oh, I want to just trail the numbers down. Let's see if it'll just do it be nice to me. Probably not. Nope. Maybe it'll catch me up in two. I'm going to do 2 trials here, 3 trials, 4 trials, and 5. Now, I think because I'm using rand between, I have to have whole numbers. So I'm going to have to use the rand. So come over here to cell I3 and put in equal and then put in rand. You have the statistics tool pack on your machine, everybody? No? Show you how to do that real quick. Before I do that, I want to show you this. This will be rand. Okay? And I want the random number function. Ah. And I'm going to take the cells here, and if I get stuck, and it's a volatile figure, and I'm going to get a random number, okay? It's generated me random. Now, I've done 5 trials. I could do 1,000 trials. I could do 5,000 trials, how many ever I want to do. And then I could take that average, if I wished, from those 1,000 trials, and I've just simulated my data using the churn rate. Okay? Now I want to show you quickly here how to go ahead and add in the tool pack. Click on File. Okay? And then come down to Options. Got it? See the options? Anybody not with me? Then you'll come down to Add-ins. And you'll click. And if you look, now you're going to see the add-ins. You'll see those that you're using. And I have the analysis tool pack on my machine. If the analysis tool pack is down here in the inactive, click on it and then press go. I'll just choose something I think will be fun. And I'm going to do the Euro currency tools. And I'll click OK. And those tools are over there now. And if I want to see my data, I've got the I have the data analysis tools there, and I've got solver on here as well. I think maybe it should be in the formulas. Okay. So it's a way for us just to say, okay, how might this look? Is 15% correct? And I could just throw these in, and I can insert I don't want to do that. I want to take these, and I want to come in here. I'm going to put equal average. Okay. And it gives me an average from those trials of 53%, way off what I think I would be dealing with here if my churn rate. Now, if I run enough trials, I'm going to get something that'll look a little bit more realistic. Okay? But if I want to, I could just, once I have that assumptions area put up there, I can say, okay, what does this look like if I'm at 29%? And so I could put 0.20. Ooh, that's not good. Or I could put 0.10. That's nice. I could put 0.15. We'll split the difference. And there we are. So I want to use assumption areas with when I have a constant to play with this a little bit, to do maybe a little extrapolation. Now, if I was a sales manager, I'd go into my management. If I have something like this, I'm going to go, look, if I can keep our customers, we're much better off. It's 25, it costs you 25 times as much to go get a new customer as it does to keep an existing customer. What would you rather do? Well, I'll do what I can to do the CRM, the customer relationship management, to keep that person, to keep that customer. Otherwise, I got to spend the money and go get new people. If I keep those people, it's good. So I want to get that churn rate. So if I say, hey, let me try to spend, you could say, all right, to get the, let's say to get the 20 new customers every year, it costs me $3,000 a person. So I spend $60,000 a year to get 20 new customers. Now, for everyone that quits, I've just lost how much? $3,000 plus whatever profit I made. You got me? So if I want to keep that churn rate down, why don't I take $500 and do something to keep them? So there's a lot more in this lesson than, or in this case, than we may think. And one of the reasons I teach the course like this is so I can convey some of this, some of the stuff we learn the hard way. Now, and I don't know if you'll study it if you're a marketing student, hopefully you will. If you're just a regular business student, you should be aware of this. It's called a Markov analysis. Markov, M-A-R-K-O-V analysis. Markov analysis takes a hypothetical two parties. Party number one purchases product A. Party number two purchases product B. And there's a probability that customer one will stay with their current product, or they'll switch. Ditto, customer two. We know that after the sixth iteration, that 2/3 of the time they stay with whoever they started with. It's called brand loyalty. And when people become brand loyal, you got them. Okay? Look, I'm an old cranky old guy, and I'm a PC guy, because in my days, Apple was for kids and people that wanted to draw stuff, and I don't like animals. Small puppies are nice people. That's not true. I love dogs. Cats, a little sketchy on that. But I'm brand loyal. So I've never had an apple. I have one apple. I've got it at home. The school gave it to me, and I take it with me to church. So when I get sick of hearing being yelled at, I just go ahead and press on it, and I go, okay, I look at the Bible app. I go, I'm tired of being yelled at and told how bad a person I am. I already know that. Tell me how I can be better. Don't tell me I get saved and read your Bible. It's a lot harder than that, but that's okay. I was at a church where the pastor would go on and on and on, and we didn't stop having church till we had. I guess if you grow up as Baptists, I hope. Do you have an altar call at your church? You folks, all your churches, I guess they still believe in hell. Okay, that's good. They have an altar call, an invitation, and we didn't stop till someone came forward. So there was a bunch of us that got tired. We wanted to watch the Cowboys play football. We wanted to go eat lunch. So we gave the cue, and it was someone's turn to rededicate their life. My greatest fear was that I'd sign up to be a missionary to Africa. And once I made that deal with God, it's a deal breaker. But when I read I recalibrate my life thing. I don't know if you even call it that anymore. Yeah, okay. My mother thought, what's wrong with you? And I never had the heart to tell her I just wanted to go eat lunch. I was tired of being yelled at. So my apple is a beautiful product for me to use. Okay, enough of that flammery. All right, so you can see we've gotten a picture here, right? But now we want, and we can play with the churn rate with this assumption area. That's why we have them. And now we're going to do one other thing. We're going to analyze these data. We're going to put them into a visual perspective. People don't like to look at tables, okay? They don't like to. And so here's what we're going to do. With the ending customers, now we know the quits are the same, or they start building, excuse me. So I'm going to take, and I'm going to click, I'm going to put my cursor on F8. Everybody with me? All right. Don't worry, my trust doesn't kick in until about 8:30. We're good. Okay? Now, I'm going to go up and use one of my favorite little tools, and it's called conditional formatting. Do you see it right here? Got it? And I'm going to use some Boolean logic. For the longest time, I thought Boolean logic meant it was logic that only worked during Halloween. Get it, Boolean? Oh, well, bad joke. Okay, so I'm going to highlight the cell rules, or I can put data bars and use a gradient or a solid fill, or I can do color scales. I'm going to use data bars with a gradient fill. Okay. No, it's not going to give me all that. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to start with a green, yellow, red fill. You say, why did you do that? Well, it's obvious. Red is bad, stop, bad, stop. Yellow, caution, caution. Green is what? Go, good. And now I've just shown them with the end customers I have what it looks like. Got me? So we just took these data. Now we've got the churn rate. If we want to play with them, we can do that to look what the possible outcomes are. I've got them visually portrayed. And if I look at this, I could ask myself a question. The end customers, are they increasing or decreasing? Oh, they're increasing. The start, okay, and since they are, then the starting customers are increasing. So I have a good handle on what's happening with this bakery. And again, the churn rate is probably everything. Now, if I got 20 new people a year, here's another one. Let's say, okay, now I've got 20. Let's see what happens if I increase that by 2%. Before I do this, I'm going to go ahead and clear that out. And you go to conditional formatting, and you're going to clear the rules. Clear the rules from the selected cells. I'll do that here again. All right. Now, I'm going to come up here and say, all right, if I can just up that to 2 by 5%, which is one person, what does it look like? Woo! We got to jump. If I could bump that up 10%, which would be 2 people, you follow me? This will be helpful to you when you're at work and you're in a meeting and you can show people the possible outcomes if certain conditions exist. The whole point of decision making and being successful in doing it is understanding that when you make a decision, the outcomes are not black or white. The outcomes are like a curve, a bell curve. really, really high and good, really, really bad. It's not just black and white. And so I'd want to have some good data on the new ones per year, churn rate for sure. And I might want to put this into perspective by saying, okay, our new customers per year are, we'll go back to the 20, the original assumption. And we'll go back to the churn rate. I think the churn rate was 15%. I think that's the original. And I would have some industry data so that I can see how I do versus my competitors. Because someone will ask me that question, well, how do we look against everybody else? And the churn rate's important because it's all about brand loyalty. Okay? How many of you know? I'm going to check some of your current culture. How many of you have heard? What's her name? Lady Gaga? Is that her name? The one that came with the Emmys once. She had an egg on her head or something. She was in an egg. Lady Gaga. She sang with Tony Bennett and all them people. Okay. She's sitting around in a slinky dress drinking a martini while poor Tony at age 90 is working his tail off. Yeah. Did you know she's an OBU grad? That's not true. That's a lie. She's loyal to OBU, though. She's brand loyal. I have no earthly idea whether she is or not. I really don't know. But at this time at night, I'm as tired and goofy as you are, so we got to talk about something. And I'd rather do that than talk about, should I have my martini shaken or stirred? But I'm obsessed with James Bond. But I'll stop being, because after all, you people are simply avatars and I will crush you. I'm sorry. How many out there? How many? You guys have hung in there. We got some avatars. You want to see them? There's Avatar Land. We're using social media to learn real bit here. Oh, Thomas, I didn't see you there. Glad to have you aboard. All right, folks. Now, here's what you want to do. You want to save this file, okay? And you want to upload it where it says upload XLS 793 here. No, XLS1. And you've done that. Now, you said, what are you going to do? I'll go through Guardian in the second recording of this, okay? And show you Guardian, which is an old example a little bit better. You didn't know we could pack so much stuff in just a few numbers, did you? No, you didn't. Now, each time we have a class session, I have something that we need to do, and that is we need to become one with the spreadsheet. You want to merge into the cells. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to close your eyes and make like, okay, see? Hold your hand. Maybe I should put a video on and show them in screen line. And I become one with the spreadsheet. I become one. And if you do that, let me know, because I'm going to send you to the nurse quickly. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for your time, your attention. I'll record this, and then I'll record a second one where we'll look at not Guardian, because that's the peril. We'll look at the other, which is going to be the whistle cleaners. Yeah, the client whistle's got a lot more data in it, and this will be a little bit more interesting. But I want to get us started, okay? And we'll save that. Okay. And I'm going to close that. I'll save what I've done with it. And now I'm going to it's telling me it's a read only, so I'm going to put it on the desktop. And I'm going to say, and I'm going to put Harmon. And then you should be able to upload it. So upload your files into the area now where it says upload upload XLS1 here. Let me take us back up here. I'll close it off. And Go to the modules. In fact, a little quicker way is to click on this thing called the syllabus, and you'll see the assignments that are due for tomorrow. Okay? For the 31st. So upload XLS1 here, and you can play around with XLS2 and upload it. Okay? The point is, now what I will do is I'll do the other file for XLS1, but I'll do 2 for sure, so you'll have something to see and work. But get it uploaded, take a stab at it, so you get it there on time. Thank you so much, folks. Anybody, just to make sure we know how to upload these, because some of you may not have. All right. I know I've got to go to the student view. I'll let you figure that out on your own. Thanks, folks, and I will see you next week. We be done. Thank you to the 9 of you who persevered. You're probably, I don't know, probably playing games or watching videos or something like that. I don't know. Maybe you're watching baseball. Maybe one of you. Who knows? I don't blame you. I would be too. I think they've turned everything off, but they're still here. No, they're here. So Cassidy, thank you. Jamie, thank you. Maddie, thank you. Rebecca, Thomas Peterson, Heath, Lane, and Nan, all of you, the faithful remnant. I know at least 9 people who are going to heaven. I'm going to stop the share and the record, and we're done for the evening. Thank you, folks. I promised you 7:15, and it's still 5 minutes of your time.